Hello. I didn't see you there, as I was too busy getting ingredients for the cauldron! Yes, the latest expansion for Warhammer Total War 2 or Total Warhammer 2 or Total War Warhammer 2, whatever it is, the returning is just around the corner. And this particular corner comes with some new goodies for the High Elves and the Rowdy Greenskins. Now, this is just a general overview video, as I intend to make videos for each of the newer factions, looking at the gubbins in more detail later on. But for now, here are the key elements of each faction, and why I find them quite interesting. So, we're going to kick off with Tor Yvresse with its mighty leader, Eltharion. He's a hybrid spellcaster and warrior, with access to the unique fortress of Athel Tamaha. Or Tamara, or Tabao. This underground grotto of high elf delights can be repaired for numerous benefits, like campaign buffs, Athel Tamara specific units, and battle skills and upgrades. You have to gain supplies, of course, to get the old girl up and running, and of course, one of the more interesting ways of doing this is through the power of interrogation. Yes, Tor Yvresse as a faction has a unique spell ability that appears on your screen during battle that lets you activate what's called the Warden Cage, and this will capture a target enemy general should they be defeated while that cage spell is active. From there, they sit in the fortress and can be interrogated for numerous rewards. A fun mechanic to mess around with. You can allow them to go, which will grant you some of their income each turn, or you can lop their head off. There is also a third option later on, but take a little bit more working. We'll have a look at that later. I'll also have a look at the new units in depth in a later video, but for Eltharion he has access to a whopping 10 new units for the High Elves, 5 of which are for all of the other High Elf factions as well, but there are 5 of them that are specific and can only be unlocked through Athel Tamaha. The other new knife ear to join the roster is Imrik the Dragon Tamer. He's this expansion's free content, or free LC as Creative Assembly call them. I actually quite like the mechanics around his faction more than Eltharion, to be honest, mainly because he's all about bringing dragons under heel and making them fight for him. Basically, every set number of turns a dragon will appear on the map somewhere, and should you wander Imrik over there, you can then do numerous things like bargaining or consulting with the ancient creature for different rewards, usually some kind of magical item or equipment, or maybe being able to get some more influence for your high elf diplomatic chicanery. Usually you get these for a small fee. The more interesting and challenging one is the fight the dragon option, which is far more entertaining and always starts a quest battle, and if anyone knows the quest battles, it's very difficult. However, if you win, you get the name dragon in your army selection as a regiment of renown, and it is quite fun running around the old world playing Dragonmon. Gotta catch them all. Outside of this though, Emmerich has an interesting start point in Mortal Empires, right in the bottom right hand side of the map, next to the Badlands, with plenty of options for expansion. That said, Eltharion also has a Badlands start, but his is on the opposite side, just across from Ulthuan. But his expansion also has the Tor Yvresse faction that you have to take care of in Ulthuan, so there's a little bit more micromanagement going on with Eltharion compared to Imrik. But obviously, the Vortex campaign, both of the elf characters start in Ulthuan proper, with a different set of objectives. I prefer Mortal Empires more really for the different start points and obviously interacting with all of the different races, but it's nice to be able to flip between them however you feel. Of course though, the main event is all about his immensity, his enormity, Grom the Paunch. Grom leads the Broken Axe Goblins in his insatiable quest for conquest, revenge, and the feast to end all feasts. The Greenskins have had a major overhaul this update, with a new scrap mechanic that plays into the faction's research tree and upgrades. Yeah, upgrades. Now you can make your boys Arder with some scrap armor, or even spikier with more spikes on their weapons. Arrow boys can get upgrades like 400% increased armor piercing damage, and many more across the entire Greenskin roster, which has also been expanded, by the way. There are 6 new Greenskin units arriving, with a mix of Snotling pump wagons, troll types, and the Rogue Idol, making the war even more interesting to look at. Oh, by the way, the war mechanics have also changed. They give you now more control over how it's targeted and what the units consist of within that war. The highlight for me here, though, is Grom, the largest gobbo the old world ever did see. He's always hungry, and the new cauldron mechanics can make you a true old world chef. After you've finished stomping your enemy into the ground and collected their teeth and other shinies, you'll find some ingredients for the cauldron. Pop them in there and see what comes out. Usually it's a good dish, which after consumption will grant the boys and Grom himself some temporary benefits. Grom, for instance, can gain the ability Bangers and Smash, knocking enemies around him on their arse, while his army might get regeneration during battle. In all, there are around 25 different ingredients to find across the old world and numerous recipes to unlock. All of them are unlocked by stomping people into the ground, which is just more fun, really. Grom also starts smack bang in the middle of Bretonnia in the Mortal Empires campaign, surrounded by numerous delicious enemies to feast on. In the Eye of the Vortex campaign, he starts on the eastern coast of Ulthuan, ready to strike once more into the heartlands of the High Elves. But that about wraps up this brief overview of the Warden and the Paunch, plus Imrik as the free expansion. I'll explore these factions more a little closer to release, so until then, have a good week all, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time, bye bye.